Hey, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Is that Dandon? I can't pronounce names for shit, so how you doing this Sunday? Hey, Robin, appreciate the light. Appreciate the light. DC2S, how you doing? Good evening. Are you on a long weekend? Robin, appreciate the light. Are you on a long weekend? Robin, appreciate all the likes. How's your weekend been? Okay, you did some UCMJ course. What was that course focused on? What was that course focused on? Okay. Is that where the MOS school is also? Or not the MOS school, but the like initial training school? Nick, I was Miguel, I was stationed at Camp Lejeune. Camp Lejeune, North Carolina was my last duty station. What about you? Where were you last stationed? Major Curley. I do not know Major Curley. Where's Major Curley at? Happy Easter, Maze Bank. I got another comment on another platform. Do I think man has ever been on the moon? I don't know. I haven't really contemplated that too much. When we're no upward. When what time period? What time period are we talking about? When were you on Lejeune? I got out in 2018. Okay, okay. Do you know do you know Schonweiss? You know Schonweiss, Brewer, Akeem Wright. No, I don't know him. What does he do? Oh, you never were? But as an attorney you were stationed there? Were you in legal assistance? Oh, damn, a cook with 20 something years. That's a good amount of time. I'd be hitting 20 this June if I stayed in. Hey, appreciate the share. Mermedic. Your husband needs one what? What does your husband need? An attorney? Oh, a military lawyer. Okay. If you're facing administrative, if a service member is facing, if a service member is notified of administrative separation, or they're charged at court martial, they get appointed an attorney, and they can go out and hire one themselves at their own expense. And that person, such as myself, we work hand in hand with their military appointed attorney, but we're the lead counsel since we're being paid by the client, by the service member. How you doing? I can handle it. How you doing? What is that? A sus 7760 misconduct. You're at AIT. You always try to avoid misconduct in general, but especially at the schoolhouse. At the schoolhouse, they're just, from what I've seen, um, less forgiving, less grace. He's getting chaptered out. So if you have more than 6 years in, or they're recommending an other than honorable, then you rate a board hearing. If not, they can discharge you with the general under honorable conditions without um, without a board hearing. You have Okay, misconduct, sleep apnea. Okay. Oh, so you're both on? We got two people on, husband and wife, on the TT Live. He's got sleep apnea. Oh, he's who shit. Are you like sitting right next to each other, both on the live, or are you in different locations? Hopefully, different locations. But you never know these days. Oh, he's stuck on base still. Why is he stuck on base? I thought do you all have like a 96 or a 72? I want to show one comment got subdued. I'll approve it. How about leaders? Incompetent as leaders. Can we put it down? NJ article. So, I mean, you can do a couple things. I mean, usually there's command climate surveys, and during those command climate surveys, you can, you can be candid about, the climate, the environment at the commands, and sometimes those lead to investigations, and sometimes, leadership is relieved. In addition, if you think that your, you know, commander is being unjust or unfair to you, you could always file the Article 138 complaint. How do you get punished for sleep apnea? Or is it because you couldn't get up? Was it because you couldn't get up? Crown Greenland. Connor Roth, is it common for ELS RE codes to be changed for administrative reasons listed as minor disciplinary action? It depends on your overall service. That's what's tough about entry level type separation is, you don't have a whole lot of, service to show for. Um, but I mean, what are we talking about? Because usually it's what is it, a general? Well, there's a RE code and then there's the characterization of service, but um, so there's the characterization of service and then there's the RE code. Oh no, if it's OTH, other than honorable. I mean, if it was minor misconduct and like if it was very minor and your overall performance was good, and you can have people write you character letters, stating that your performance and conduct was great, then maybe it's possible that you get a discharge upgrade. It's never guaranteed. It's never guaranteed. Just keep that in mind. So if you got treated in complete turnaround, Mermedic, student leadership, calling cadence, etc., why do they still want to separate him? Ruben, what's that? What do you want me to repeat? Something about discharge upgrades? So when you're looking at discharge upgrade, the first thing you want to do is request your military record. Some people say, "Hey, I got my military record." No, you need to request your military record. You think you know what's in there, but how do you know that it was uploaded? Were you sitting there with the admin shop, ensuring that they uploaded your documents? So again, first step, request your military record using SF 180. If you've been discharged after 2014, a lot of times you can go on Mill Connect and get those. If you look on page 3 of the SF 180, that's where it tells you where to go to put in that request. It's based on your branch and when you were discharged. For medical records, you go to the VA. How to get 100% disability. Um, so that's the first step. And then there's, in addition to the legal argument on how it was, either there was an error in the process or it was unjust, you also submit substantiating documentation of that and also post discharge conduct. For example, you get a local background check. Hey, appreciate the heart. Get a local background check, FBI background check, um, character statements. If you can get character statements from people you serve with, that's great. Um, Character statements from others, like buddy statements, they call them, or they refer to them sometimes. And, a resume, any service in the community. So, volunteer work, that's helpful. And then you submit those enclosures with your discharge upgrade. What's that? So you're getting your military record, so you can see what the board sees when you submit your discharge upgrade. Make sure that you're addressing everything in there. Sometimes I've heard people that submitted rebuttals and those rebuttals never made it in. So that's another thing that you can add if that's missing. Then once you put the packet together, then you submit it to the board. Appreciate the follow. Appreciate the follow. Am I muted? Mozzarella stick 9. They're separating you for having narcoleptic symptoms. I mean, that's more of a medical concern, I would think. They can't have you, falling asleep when you're about to, when you're out there forward deployed. Yeah, Trevor, that's a concern. That's like being a liability, not only for yourself but for those people around you. So if you're like passing out just randomly while you're standing there, I mean, that's concerning for you, and that's also concerning if you were to go forward, especially if you were in a combat situation. You submitted 3 rebuttals and they basically didn't care. Yeah, I mean, that's why you definitely have to request your military records, see what made it in there. Things might be missing. Okay, I've heard that numerous times. Is it intentional? I don't know. Hope not, but it could have been. Can you bleach your hair? I'd say no. I don't think I've ever seen a military member with bleached hair. Why would you want to bleach your hair in the military? Is it worth the time and energy for ELS? Wasn't for a year. Again, it depends on your overall service. Can you get character statements, etc. Hey, appreciate all the likes. Appreciate all the likes. What's my opinion about bird law? Thinking of joining the Marine Corps, didn't know about the law path. Yeah, there's a couple ways to go law in the Marine Corps. You can be in law school and sign up for the Marine Corps. You'll be commissioned, and then compete, after you compete, or I'm sorry, ah, I'm paying attention to two different platforms. But so you could be in law school, you could be in your 1L, 1L, 2L, and sign up. You'll be commissioned, but you won't go to training until one of the summers, or after you're completely done. Um, the benefit of that is you'll start gaining time and grade, and also you'll start your pay entry base date. So that's one of the factors determining how you get, or how much money you make, your years of service or your pay entry base date. So by the time you go to TBS, you may be a captain. Um, you can already be a licensed attorney and then join. There's a recruiter's assistant that comes on here sometimes, and they're looking for, right now they're looking for, they're really looking for people that already have a license right now to make mission. Hey, happy Easter to you too, Mac Duff Perkins. I'm having an all right day. How about yourself? You have a bachelor's currently, and it's in philosophy or psychology. My bad, psychology. That's okay, as long as you have a JD, a Juris Doctorate, a law degree. As long as you have a law degree, or you're pursuing your law degree, you can sign up for the Marine Corps legal program. There's also the program that I was in. I was already a Marine Corps officer, and I applied to FLEP and ELP. FLEP is Funded Legal Education Program. ELP is Excess Leave Program. They're a little different. So both send you to law school, or both allow you to go to law school, and that's your appointed place of duty and your job for 3 years. And FLEP, the Funded Legal Education Program, they pay for your school and they give you your full pay while you're in school. ELP, Excess Leave Program, they do not give you your full pay. You're paid when you're not in class. So the first year was tough. I was a captain with a wife and two kids, and I was making about a third of my normal pay because I was only available 10/20ths of the month. But then my second and third year, I scheduled all my classes 2 days a week. So then I was getting paid two-thirds of my pay. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the likes. What does NJP stand for? Jesse, are you in the military? So NJP, non-judicial punishment, it's the same thing as Article 15. The Army and the Air Force call it Article 15. The Navy calls it Captain's Mast, and the Marine Corps calls it NJP, but it's all the same thing. It all falls under Chapter 15, or it all falls under Article 15 of the UCMJ. Oh, so you didn't get any Article 15s? That's good. Yeah, if you can get a bunch of character statements also. Okay, you got 3 letters of reprimand. Those aren't as bad as Article 15s. But again, like I said, when you're early on, when you're in the schoolhouse, they're a lot they're a lot more harsh, in my opinion. They don't give you as much grace as they do in the operating forces. Okay, shipping out on the 20th for Marine Corps boot camp. Make sure you're physically fit. Good seeing you again too. Good seeing you again. It's more. Where are you located at? It's like 1946, 746 where I'm at. Where are you at? Big snack. Appreciate the donuts. Appreciate the donuts. Big snack. King Kong, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? Is my connection going in and out? If they recall IRR and you own a successful construction company, no, I hear that. I hear that. What how many years do you have in the IRR? And you got to your company's doing great in how many years? I mean, it has to be you can't be more than 4 years that you've been in business, right? Do you know what qualifies for CRSC? I don't what does that mean? I'm not sure what that acronym is. That acronym. How many more years do you have in the IRR? So typically you have to serve, a total of 8. So if you serve, initially 4 years, then you have to do 4 more years in the IRR. Okay. I do not know. I do not know about that. Okay, been in business a year and a half, 2 left in the IRR. What type of you say construction, but what specifically? Any focus or just general contractor, framing, roofing? Okay, finished carpentry and residential. I was a finished carpenter in Raleigh, North Carolina, um, back in 2004. My buddy's uncle called Baldwin Homes. He owned they used to build mansions. So he got us a job with the with the company that he employed to do all the finish carpentry. So I'd be up there like on the very top of the ladder, the part you're not supposed to be on, hanging like crown molding and stuff. So since I was new, I wasn't cutting it. I was standing on the I was standing on the ladder nailing that up, trying not to fall off while the other guys were cutting it. And then baseboard, stuff like that. But I only did that for 2 years, or I only did that for 2 months, and then decided to go back to New York so I could finish my degree, my bachelor's degree, because it was me, two buddies from high school, and one of their girlfriend and a girlfriend. One had a girlfriend. We all moved from central New York to Raleigh. I ended up going back home. I didn't want to delay my bachelor's degree because I feared that I wouldn't go back to school if I took a year off. Johnny Sins. Someone called me Johnny Sins on the tube. Okay, okay. Over 108 in debt. Okay. You got to invest in your business though, right? Okay, you're in Western New York. What part of Western New York? I used to have family in Buffalo, but they all moved south. Buffalo, New York, and Derby, New York. So yeah, I pretty much have no family that live in New York. They all moved south. Texas, Florida, Arkansas. Okay, towards Rochester. Garbage plate, right? That's what Rochester is known for. I went to school at SUNY Oswego as a general discharge and admin set. Um, it's a characterization. It's a characterization of service for an administrative separation. So, a general discharge, general under honorable conditions, you get all your benefits except the post 9/11 GI Bill. Okay, so you still get your VA home loan. You still get access to the VA for any medical issues. They have walk-in clinics, and you also get VA disability for any service-connected conditions. Big Snack, are you originally from Rochester, New York? User 92. If they, um, could you fight it? That's not a question. That's not something. If the draft came and you were in the IRR, that's a good question. That's a good question. I'll have to look that up. I know everyone's worried about the draft. Hey, if we're drafting people, it's gonna be end times. Only one person has to hit that button, and then everyone in multiple countries hit the button. You're not going to be doing carpentry work, but your skills will be useful. I don't think there'll be many people around to hire you. What do you say, St. Denis? They're drafting old guys in Russia? Yeah, send the old people. So St. Denis, well, they found me medically unfit. I wasn't fat or anything. The year before I was NJP'd. So like I wasn't discharged for NJP. Okay. Oh, you are? St. Denis, you're out there getting some, huh? Appreciate the like. Appreciate the like, St. Denis. Oh, you're in a Facebook group. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot different than being out there. Oh yeah? Are they out there? What are they out there for? What are most of them out there for? Yeah, of course. Of course, physically the younger guys are better. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say, especially back in the day, if someone was older, you knew that they been through some stuff and could survive. If the average age was what, 30? I mean, saying Dennis, that's what I was. That's what I figured. They just want to fight. Oh, I'm sure. Have you seen the pictures of people like before and after they go to heavy combat like that? Fuck, fuck. The craziest shit is the drones. Like I saw one guy. I saw one guy. There was like three of them, but there's one guy that went into the. He went into like a culvert. Like there's a culvert, and there's like a the one of the pipe under the under the road. Like he went to hide in there, and the drone followed him in there. Tanks are? I don't know. Oh, I hate seeing them chase people too. One thing that I think is horrible, I don't care if it's Russian or Ukrainian, but I saw one video of a guy. He was done. He was injured, mortally injured, and he was praying like with a rosary, and his drone is just like looking at him, and then ends him, and it's just like shit. Yeah, it's like the movies, right? Saint Denis, like the movies. I have not read Ender's Games. Is that good? I've not read it or watched it. I've thought about, picking up skeet shooting. That would probably be a good skill to have, right? Oh, interesting. It's about these kids who play this game that fights aliens. Okay. We're now 1985 science fiction novel. Oh, interesting. Hey, Big Snack, you have a great night too. Hey, appreciate the donut. Appreciate the donut. Big snack. Oh, interesting. So they didn't know that they were doing that the whole time. Oh yeah, I mean that's true. Like they're looking through the they're looking through the headset, and they're looking through the headset. It's probably pretty graphic. Yeah, for those drone operators, it's like a game. It's like a game with the highest definition because it's real life. But I think that's what takes away the the human aspect of it for sure. Hey, my Jubes, how you doing? Have you heard about headset? Have you heard about firearms service members are going to be allowed to carry on base or on post? Y'all heard about that? Just chilling in Mexico. You, you on vacation or is that where you're from, Jubes? Oh, that's St. Denis. That's what I was thinking. Like 100%. That's what I was thinking. Um, but on top of that, trying to find. But on top of that, oh, you deserted. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Not going back home for the next 10 years. Why the next 10 years? You're not coming back to the states for 10 years. There's not a statute of limitations. It could be 40 years. Really? St. Denis? You think so? I don't know. I had two staff NCOs that I knew they had weapons in their car, and you know, I personally don't have an issue with it, so didn't say anything. But I gave one of them a bad evaluation report, a bad fit rep, and I sat down with him, talked to him about it, told him why it was bad, um, and he was like, "Hey, sir, I'm getting out soon." I said, "Yeah, you know where to come find me," and that's about all that was said. And I told my boss, I was a captain at the time. I told my major, and he's like, "Hey, what if he comes and shoots you?" I said, "Then he comes and shoots me." I also believe that like things are predetermined. You'll stay there. Do you have family? I was in 2006. I commissioned September 1st, 2006 till June 2018. Oh, your whole family in Ohio. I mean, do you have a Hispanic background or are you just like the gringo hanging out in Mexico? You stick out like a sore thumb. Is that what's going on? You're in Mexico hiding out? Hey, Shark, happy Easter. was what? 2010, 2013. Were you in the Marine Corps that time? Shit. You're like you were probably in the same office as me, huh? You're like, that's that motherfucker I wanted to shoot. I was at Camp Lejeune from 2009 to 2012. Everyone was killing themselves or their wives. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think someone shot themselves in their vehicle right near the fire station going towards where was it? It's like you're going like towards the golf course where the golf course is, that direction. Yeah, I was with CLR 27 with the second MLG. Who are you with? St. Denis? There was someone shooting random buildings. Oh, so what I was gonna say is my concern is, yeah, I don't my concern about firearms being in the barracks is when you mix alcohol, drunk Marines, drunk, you know, soldiers, drunk sailors. When you mix alcohol and them having firearms in the barracks, I don't think there's gonna be some concern. But I could see where, like, I lived in base housing. I couldn't carry like, say I wanted to go out in town with my family, I can't, put my weapon on me concealed. I mean, I could, but it's not legal to, put your weapon on you, carry your weapon on you, and then proceed off base and, go to a restaurant, etc. Or if you live on off base, off post, and you want to have a firearm with you in your vehicle on your drive to work, and then maybe you want to carry because you're after work, you're going to go stop by the mall to pick up, a book at Barnes and Nobles. How do you accomplish that legally? St. Dennis, I don't think. I mean, it, I don't know when the last time that happens. He had an ankle revolver. Oh, Fort Hood, yeah. And everyone, Fort Hood, and he was an 04. How many people did he kill? My Jupes. Yeah, that's a good question. Is he still in here? Is my Jupe still in here? Maze Bank. Do I keep cutting out? Maze Banks, are you still in here? Okay. Hey, it keeps telling me I have a bad connection. Am I getting choppy? Oh, every once in a while, St. Dennis, I'm getting choppy. Yeah, it's going green and then yellow, red sometimes. There's like a little light indicator light that tells me the connection. Yeah, where's okay. I have to check my internet. Where's my Jubes at? Oh, his last comment got subdued for some reason. What'd he say? My brother working there, but I don't want to put him in trouble. So okay, where I don't know where that is. Where's that at? Let me look that up. Okay. We're looking up that. Oh, that's a nice looking church. Just looking up that city that my Jubes mentioned to us. Oh, it's right near the Gulf of California. Oh, the city was founded by a Spanish conquistador. Oh yeah, there's a 19 there's a cathedral that was constructed in 1830. Hey, Brian, you couldn't receive your passport due to your name being changed. Did you go to legal assistance and ask them for help? That's way out of my wheelhouse. Did you call the passport office, Department of State, and talk to them about it and what you need to do to get it rectified? I mean, Jeremy, that's going to be difficult. Okay. Um, how is your overall service and conduct? These are just hypotheticals, um, or rhetorical questions. How was your overall, you know, performance and conduct while you were in? How many times, when you got in trouble? Was it towards the very end of your enlistment? How much of your enlistment did you complete before you committed misconducts? What have you been doing since your discharge? Have you stayed out of trouble after your discharge? So those are all, factors. Matthew Doley. You were given a page 11 when I was in combat engineer school for knocking. Oh, okay, you knocked up a chick while you were in school, huh? Do I think you get disability for a broken leg? Come on, Tyrone Longcock. I heard that pilot had the weapons officer had a broken, I think it was a broken ankle. And I think he was on a ridge line, like at 7,000 feet up, hiding. A senior chip is hazing people. What do I do? Why do you say he's hazing people, Blade? Thom Thom, is there any way to get an Article 15 removed? You'd have to do a request to the Board of Corrections for military records. Oh, the first sergeant was a female and said I ruined that other Marine's life because she got pregnant. So where's the kid now? Or you just pieced out? Oh shit. Okay, that's pretty good. So you had multiple terms of service or contracts. You just want to get it corrected. Well, what was it? Was it a? I mean, if you're a CW3, I mean, you had good conduct and performance for the most part, I would say, or at least didn't get caught. Can you prove it's a false accusation? Making sailors in student status wall sit over rifles if they fall. I mean, I don't think that's hazing. To me, that's not hazing. Why'd they let you don't let your rifle fall? They're trying to teach you with pain. Again, NCOER, Army Board for Correctional and Military Records, full custody of daughters. Oh, that's good. And a current TS, top secret TS. 17 comments. Pardon me if I miss yours. Appreciate the like. Oh, it goes up. Yeah, definitely. That's fucked up. User 90, what? What's your question? If Trump decides to attack electrical grid and bridges, isn't that a war crime? I'd say no. Do it. The thing about war crimes is who's gonna prosecute them. If you're the victor, probably not gonna get prosecuted. There's a warrant out for Netanyahu's arrest. There's a warrant out for Putin's arrest from the International Criminal Court, and no one's enforcing that. Putin went and visited, Trump in Alaska, what, a while back. After that warrant was issued, we didn't do anything about it. Who else? Netanyahu. There's also a warrant for Netanyahu's arrest out of the International Criminal Court. I'm sure he's been to the US. I'm sure Donald Trump has met with him, and no one's enforcing that warrant. I don't practice international law. Like I say, do you want to win or do you want to speak Chinese? Maze Bank. Yeah, fat curb. I agree. Everyone on this planet is guilty of something. Maze Bank, invent that drone. Be a multi-millionaire many times over. Yeah, just User 904, I just don't practice international law. Um, don't agree with some of it. People are crying about the about us destroying drug boats. Why? You know how many people have died from fentanyl? What about the UCMJ? Just talking about military law, administrative separations. Well, user 904, unfortunately, there's collateral damage. Yeah, you'd have to make a big drone. I seen one thing today scrolling. They had like this. It was I don't. It was like a canister that a service member would have like on their hip, and when a drone would like be coming. No, I don't think a drone was coming, but basically it was a fucking drone in a canister, and they like took this canister and they like opened it up, and this drone came out and started flying. Oh, well, at least they retired you. At least they retired you. Hey, I think if it looks like a drug boat, hit it. If it has all the characteristics of a drug boat, don't look like a drug boat. Oh, you didn't. We are the bad guys. I didn't say I agree with everything we do. I didn't say I agree with everything we do. I do think sometimes we can bully people, yeah, or other countries. He is rage baiting. I think less fentanyl in the United States is a good thing. Yeah, you do. Lock onto drones. I mean, the biggest thing is keeping it affordable and cheap. And that's the benefit that Iran has with those drones, those one-way suicide drones, because they're only like $30,000, but yet the missiles that have to intercept them or that intercept them are hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Now it can't be free for the military. You got to make some money. Maybe not at a premium. Biden. A user really, I stopped paying too much attention to all that stuff because I would go down rabbit holes, and I'd go down rabbit holes and it would take away from my work and things of that nature because I work for myself, but it would take away from my work and I'd spend hours going down rabbit holes. And I just said, leave it alone. I'm going to focus on what I can control and what I can influence. And at this moment in my life, I have to focus on work. I'm willfully ignorant. I mean, I see the headlines, what's going on, things of that nature. You also got to think of the grand scheme of things, what's going on. So hitting, you know, Was it Venezuela, Maduro? Yeah, getting Maduro and then going into Iran. What does that do? That's negatively impacting um, the oil that's going to Russia. You got a DWI 2 weeks after enlisting. Am I cooked? Ooh, you might be cooked. A DUI? How did you get a DUI 2 weeks after enlisting? You haven't shipped yet? Or how do you? I don't even think you're allowed to leave after 2 weeks. Fat curb. Yeah, you should get a lawyer. He's right. Fat curb is right. Get a lawyer that focuses on DWI. I am clueless. I am clueless, user 904. Okay, okay. You want out of the military without a dishonorable? Well, you can only get a dishonorable if you are convicted at general court martial, and that's part of the punishment. Um, the worst you can get at administrative separation is an other than honorable. Yeah, get med boarded. You could say some things that get you med boarded. IR lock sensors. Yeah, Maze Bank. And they need cheaper something cheaper that intercepts drones. Because right now, like I mentioned before, they're using what? Interceptors that cost hundreds, if not millions of dollars for a drone that costs 30,000. Hey, like what? You could get a other than honorable, a general under honorable conditions, or an honorable for a administrative separation. What would I say? I mean, I'm not. What would you say? Like if you have mental health issues, that's a reason to discharge somebody. I mean, if you partake in illegal in illicit substances, that's another way you'll get kicked out. You don't though? Okay. Yeah, finish your contract. You know what's going to happen if you don't finish your contract and you just get out for say you get out for misconduct or something because you want out. 30 years down the road, you're going to be calling me. I probably won't be around, but 30 years down the road, you're going to be like, "Hey, I want a discharge upgrade. I was young, didn't want to finish my contract, so I smoked and I got kicked out." That's what's going to happen. I'm serious. Oh yeah, if you say you were Jewish, I have a good friend that's Jewish and served, and he wanted to continue serving, but they let him go. He's a good guy. He's just very unique. It's unfortunate because he spoke native Russian, and they didn't. He wanted to do like something with his language skills and his logistic skills. He was a logo. Yeah, yeah. BCMR doesn't even follow law. They go way past and no accountability. I'm gonna head off here in a couple minutes. Patriot missiles by Lockheed Martin intercept missiles. They need to make smaller ones. Oh yeah, yeah, smaller and cheaper. But you know they hustle. They hustle. Everyone's hustling the government. Everyone but us, apparently. When I was stationed in Syracuse with the reserve center, our fence got damaged because someone stole a tractor, an 18-wheeler, and they went through our fence, and we had to get it repaired. And I was calling fence companies, and once I told them that I was calling on behalf of the DoD to get the fence fixed, they're like, "Oh, we got to pay our guys double. It's a government contract. We got to pay them double." It's not like their work is worth any more, but because it's the government paying, they want to charge the government double. What happens when American can't pay veteran retirements? There's going to be a lot of people at the Treasury, maybe at Fort Knox, a lot of pissed off veterans at Congress or I think that happened. I think I read that that did happen one time back in the day. I'm looking it up right now. Damn. Hey, right here. Fat. Oh yeah, World War I. I just looked it up. Around 20,000 World War I veterans and their families camped in Washington D.C. to demand early payment of bonuses promised for 1945. They were evicted by federal troops on July 28th. Vietnam veterans against the war. Yeah, that was bonus money. Under Truman. Yeah, they're always so the Damien Garcia. So what's my area? So I do UCMJ. So UCMJ. So court martial, administrative separations, GOMAR rebuttals, investigation rebuttals, do discharge upgrades also. My favorite thing though is probably administrative separation hearings. I've already been to enough court martials that they're just a lot of work, and most people don't have the money to pay for the amount of work you're doing. or that is required to get a great result at trial. No, I hear you. DMO 599. How much would what cost? How much would court martial cost? I'm on the low ends. I'm on the real low ends. How much do people usually charge? Like 40 to 50? I'm like half that. I had one guy, he had to sell his house. I told you I'm like half that. And I had one guy, E8, he still had to sell his house. You wrote 90% of my letter. What do you mean? I'm going to hop off here in a minute. Appreciate the likes, appreciate the follows. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the follows. DMO5, if I was a trust fund baby, I'd be even lower if I could, but I got to, put food on the table. All right, I'm going to head out. Appreciate you all.